This is going to be a hard video to intro, so I'm just kind of going to ramble here. After I finished Hellblade, I sat there and reflected on the experience I just had. And I thought to myself, God, I love single player video games. And I was sat there for a long time and I thought of all the reasons why I do. And I figured, you know what? I'm going to put my thoughts into a video. So this is going to be why I love video games. And I think it comes down to maybe one reason: meaning. What's going on, guys? Randall, Thor 19, the man with the million, back again with another video. And yeah, finishing Hellblade has got me thinking. You guys can check out my review for that. I played a lot of interesting games this year, very narrative focused, very story driven, that have touched me in ways a lot of other games haven't, that made me think about what they were trying to say and the themes they were trying to get across. And they're all single player games. Now, before I kind of get into the gist of my argument here, I just want to say that multiplayer gaming is fun and great, and I love it. I played Halo 2 every single day for a year because I was so addicted to that experience, meeting new friends, playing multiplayer online for the first time. I've put 200 hours or so into Halo 5. I got 600 hours into Destiny. I still enjoy playing with my friends in multiplayer games. However, with that said, nothing gives me more joy than sitting down in my chair with my headphones on by myself and just enjoying a finely crafted single player story. And I think the reason why I like it so much is because, just like movies or just like a TV show or a book, games are made with intent. The best games, the best books, the best films, the best television shows, they exist to say something, but also at the same time allowing players, readers, watchers to create their own interpretation. And that's what happened to me when I finished Hellblade, What Remains of Edith Finch, the Mass Effect series, any of those great RPGs like Witcher 3. You have those experiences. Those are all made to say something about the human condition or things like that. And it's so interesting. And maybe I like that because I am into books, television shows, movies. I've read hundreds of books in my life. There's nothing more than I love than sitting down and being told a story that is supremely interesting, that has well-written characters, that have, desires and wants and needs, and everything flows like you would expect it to, right? And with multiplayer, I find it is just, and don't take me wrong here, but multiplayer, it has no direction. It has no beginning. It has no end. And essentially, it has no meaning. And that's the difference I kind of look at it. Single player games, with the story, the narrative, everything that's going in it, has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It has a purpose for existing, and it tells a story, and it has a meaning. It has intent. It is saying something. Whereas multiplayer has no meaning. It has no beginning. It has no end. It only exists for you to have fun and waste your time. And I know that's kind of a harsh way of looking at it, but to me, that's the point. I know people can get out there and play Halo all the time and have a lot of fun, and I'm not knocking that because I am one of those people. It's just, I would never, I think it even goes back to why I had such an issue with Overwatch winning Game of the Year last year. Because to me, and maybe this is the way I've kind of grown up and how I've approached video games and what I like and what I enjoy compared to what I don't. But I always felt Overwatch, being a multiplayer-only game, it didn't deserve Game of the Year because it had no purpose and no meaning. It wasn't trying to say anything about anything. It was just, the reason it existed was to, I know this kind of sounds callous, and the point will stand for single-player games, but to make money and get people to spend their money and play the game constantly, but it had no ultimate purpose. When I played something like Hellblade, and yes, that game exists, and it is a business to get money from you, but Hellblade is trying to say something about the human condition. It has a purpose for existing, and that purpose for existing is what makes it so special in my eyes. I know maybe some of you can understand that, and maybe some of you can't, but that is just kind of my opinion on the single player versus multiplayer, and why I love single player games so much. Anyways, I don't want this video to be extremely long, because I know I could probably ramble on and lose my points, but I thought I'd really get this kind of quick vid out here to explain my reasoning when I play something like Hellblade, or What Remains of Edith Finch, or Rhyme, those single player experiences that mean so much to me. And because I've had this question asked to me, like, Rand, why do you give more leeway to some of these smaller indies and say the AAA games that have all these modes and stuff like that? The multiplayer is because, like I said, multiplayer has no meaning and no purpose. All these other type of single player experiences, they do. And even me, like, I'll even play Call of Duty, a game that necessarily, is a poster child of no meaning and no purpose for multiplayer, but I play Call of Duty for the story, because even in its primal form, even though maybe the story's not great, it's still they set up characters, they have a protagonist, an antagonist, and you go through the story with motivations, and things happen, and you get to the conclusion. It has a beginning, middle, and end, and I enjoy that. I really enjoy that. And Infinite Warfare actually told a compelling story. And that's all I kind of want out of my video games. I want to sit down, I want to put my headphones on, I want to be taken to a new world, one that I have never experienced before. I want to meet new characters and that have a interesting problem to overcome. And I want them to have a cool antagonist to go against. And I want the story to be grand and grandiose, or small and intimate. And I want them to overcome those obstacles, to face those things, and get to the end of the story and have that wonderful conclusion. And then move on to the next story, like I did with all the books I used to read, or the TV shows I used to watch, or the movies that I go see. That is what I'm looking for. And that is why I don't play multiplayer games all the time. I mean, that's about as best as I can explain it. Now, I hope the video and my explanation makes sense to you guys. These are just kind of my thoughts pouring out of my head right now. So please, give me some feedback on this. Let me know what you think about single player, multiplayer. What do you enjoy most? And if you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, or hitting the bell if you want to be notified for when all my videos go live. Share this out on Twitter with all your followers so more people we can have a discussion about single player and multiplayer. Anyways, guys, I hope you have a good rest of the weekend, and I will see you in the next video. Later.